Hi, I'm Karen Mari, CYSO's Community and Family Engagement Coordinator. I'm excited to talk to you about CYSO's Community Engagement Program, so let's hop right in. We strongly believe that every student should have equitable access to a high quality music education. Beyond the benefit to individual students, music is essential to vibrant communities. That's why we're committed to growing our programs in neighborhoods all over the city. We all live here, so we all benefit. Through our education concerts, ambassadors programs, and school partnerships, CYSO reaches 8,500 students and families each year. And we packed a lot into this short year. With our partners at Moose Elementary and Humboldt Park, we dug deep into middle school band sectionals. Our expanding program gave young instrumentalists a chance to excel in weekly instrument-specific classes focused on deeper, more individualized learning. In nearby Hermosa, we continued our after-school Steelpan partnership with Nixon Elementary. CYSO Director of Steel Orchestras Scott McConnell ran 4 classes a week from the Nixon Auditorium stage. This year's classes were larger than ever, and we're so grateful for the chance to grow our roots in Nixon's incredible school community. Our Nixon Steel students rocked out at their holiday concert and jumped at the chance for a new collaboration with the school's choir program. Here's a clip from that performance. On the city's southeast side, we began exploring a new relationship with Golistal Language Academy. Golistal has a fantastic music program led by the tireless Mr. Cuckler. In the fall, students from Golistal checked us out at the CYSO Open House, and debut orchestra assistant director Stephen Gooden returned the favor by visiting the school as a guest clinician. The winter brought us back to Golistal with the CYSO brass ambassadors, and we can't wait to reschedule visits by Maestro Tinkham and some CYSO sectional teachers when we can get back to in-person programming. We also saw incredible growth in our ambassadors program this season. CYSO ambassadors are student-driven chamber groups that visit Chicago public schools and deliver interactive concert programs that students design themselves. Existing groups volunteer for extra time, training in leadership and public speaking skills to create original programs that engage students from ages 5 to 22 in schools across the city. I got together with our CYSO Ambassadors Woodwind group, the Fantastic Five, over Zoom to talk about their ambassadors' experience. So, what group is this?
We're the Fantastic Five. We're a wind quintet with CYSO's Symphony Orchestra.
Hi, I'm Samantha and I play flute.
Hi, I'm Adriana and I play oboe.
My name is Dane and I play clarinet.
My name is Maeve and I play French horn.
I'm Logan and I play bassoon.
Awesome. Logan, can you tell me a little bit about what ambassadors ensembles do?
So ambassadors ensembles essentially tour different elementary schools in the CPS districts, and they play little interactive programs for them to introduce kids to classical music through chamber performance.
Yeah, and you had to go through some extra training before you presented your concerts. Samantha, do you want to tell us a little bit about the training in public speaking and presentation that you guys got?
Yeah, so we rehearse once a week, and we rehearse as our small group for 2 hours, and one of those hours is with a chamber music coach. So we had Dr. DeRoche as our coach, and he kind of walked us through picking different pieces that we thought we would know as elementary school kids, and that would keep the kids very intrigued, but would also be informative to get them knowing what classical music and chamber music is all about.
Awesome. So Dr. DeRoche helped you guys a lot. And you also had some training with Miss Feinberg, one of our friends of CYSO, and you had a whole day of training. Adriana, do you want to talk about the training with Miss Feinberg?
Sure. So basically, she went over with us public speaking and basically how to make the program engaging for the students and try to correlate like our music to stuff that they're interested in. Like one thing I particularly remember is she said to try and connect our music to like slime or like Minecraft because that's what like little kids are into nowadays.
Cool. Maeve, you had some good thoughts to share about coming up with your presentation because you guys put this together yourselves. Everything about it was something that you all came up with as a group. So can you tell us a little bit about how this group came up with the presentation that you presented in your 4 CPS schools?
So earlier, Samantha mentioned that Dr. DeRoche helped us pick out some pieces that would highlight each instrument in our chamber and also was entertaining and intriguing for the kids to listen to. And from that, we kind of just worked together as a group to figure out different things that would keep the audience interested and listening. So then they would have a great time listening to our performance and want to maybe go into music in the future.
Yeah, that's always a fun possibility to think, oh, maybe I played something that inspired someone to continue in music. Hey, Dane, we haven't heard from you yet. Can you tell us a little bit about, and don't hold anything back, what was it like to do this project with your group? Like, was it easy to come up with a presentation with your 4 other group mates, or how was that process?
One of the most challenging parts really was coming up with enough repertoire that was engaging for children for a whole concert, because kids have a really short attention span. You know, they're young, they haven't had a lot of long performances, and so we had to manage to come up with short pieces that still kept the kids engaged. And one really important factor to that was making sure that we were keeping it interesting by doing a lot of talking and explaining to kids and engaging them and making them part of the presentation as well.
Yeah, that was a good point about making sure that the music was something that the kids were engaged in. What was your repertoire? Like, what did you play for the kids, and how did that impact the stories that you came up with?
Obviously, normally as a wind quintet, we'd be doing this pieces like by Donzi or other people, but for this, we chose pieces that some people would call them kind of, kitsy or something that's sort of basic, but we played stuff like Carmen, or we played the Tritch Tratch Polka, and something that was short and something that was interesting to kids.
And I think as high schoolers, and really intelligent high schoolers, you guys have a lot to say. Like, you have a lot of thoughts about your music, and then condensing it down into something that a 6-year-old can digest and focus on was something that you guys really improved on. Do you guys want to talk about that at all? Like, what's it like to put your thoughts that you're having about your really complex music into something that a little kid can understand?
One of the things we thought was really important to getting the kids to pay attention is, instead of just saying, oh, we're going to play Carmen now, we'd say, we're going to play Carmen, but we're going to start by just listening to this one part. And so we'd have, for example, Samantha play the flute solo. And then the whole time, then they'd have something specific to focus on. And that really helps them keep their mind focused on what we're looking for. And another thing we could do is, like with Carmen, it's made up a piece of all these excerpts from the different parts of the opera. So we would just stop after every excerpt instead of trying to go all the way through. And then we could also tell them about the story too. And stories really help because, they've been reading a lot of storybooks and stuff. So it gives them something that they can really connect to in the real world. And it also is interesting because it can let them connect the emotions portrayed in the music to something that is really concrete and easy to grasp onto.
What was the most difficult part of making your educational program? Like, what was the hardest thing to do?
At least by the second performance, we had a really elaborate, solid plan down for like what we were gonna say, when we were gonna say, all that stuff. But even still, we'd get up to talk, and it was like our brains just kind of left.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Logan on that one. I know I personally would get up to the microphone, okay, I know exactly what sentence I'm going to say. And I would look out into the audience and I would be like, what was I going to say again? And we would have all these people watching us, and we would look at the person up at the microphone and we'd be like, go ahead, say what you're going to say. And the person would just stand there and like fumble and like try and find words that would come together and make a sentence. But it was the hardest part.
I will just say, as an audience member for your concerts, you guys did no bumbling. It was really, it might have felt like you were bumbling, but everything you said was great. Was this anybody's first time performing for young kids, like elementary school kids? Because we saw some pretty young kids. I think your group was one of the groups that we had some surprise kindergartners. So is this the first time you guys had played for such young audiences?
Yeah, I think for me it was. I'm the youngest out of my entire family, so I'm not really used to being around little kids, and I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Like it was a little different for me to like speak more at an elementary school level to keep the kids engaged, but I was really surprised at how much I got out of this experience, seeing the kids' reactions and just seeing how much they enjoyed our playing.
What is like the biggest thing that sticks with you from your experience? Like, what's the biggest takeaway that you had as a CYSO ambassador?
The skills I learned will definitely help me like throughout college and after, even though like we were just specifically presenting to elementary school kids. Public speaking in general just is a really good skill to always improve on, and I think just going through the 4 presentations really helped me with that, making sure everyone can hear you, having a clear voice, different things with public speaking I think will definitely go a long way throughout my life. Yeah.
Honestly, for me, the biggest takeaway was just how fun it was and how much I want to do it again. Like, I wouldn't mind living that lifestyle every day. It was honestly so much fun, and we made the kids so happy. And, like, they loved seeing us, and it felt nice. And especially because for some of them, that could have been, like, their first time, like, being introduced to classical music. And I'm just happy that they had, like, a supportive environment to, like, enjoy it in. Because, you know, sometimes if they go to, like, see the CSO or something at Symphony Center, they have to sit still. They have to sit in their chair. They can't move around or dance anything. But when we performed for them, they were able to, like, express themselves without getting in trouble.
Thanks for your insights, Fantastic Five. The Ambassadors Program is an incredible learning experience for everyone involved. This year, our 4 ambassadors groups collectively engaged over 2,500 students at 15 schools in 15 different neighborhoods across the city of Chicago. Everyone reacted so positively to our students' presentations, and I was grateful to get to drive the van. Right before we suspended programming earlier this spring, our orchestras were beginning their education concert season. Our education concerts are presented free to CPS elementary school students. They offer CYSO musicians a chance to serve as role models for younger kids, and they give the students in the audience the opportunity to experience music performed by musicians not much older than they are. We're happy to have been able to perform our jazz and steel education concerts before COVID came along.
Hi, my name is Susan Bowman. I am a Chicago public school teacher at Talcott Fine Arts and Museum Academy, and my students and I were so fortunate to attend and enjoy the Jazz Orchestra Education Concert. It was such an enriching experience for my students. The pre-concert materials helped my students learn the names of the instruments, what they sounded like, what they were called, which made it so exciting when they saw them live. At the concert, we were all made to feel so welcome by the musicians, by the conductor. They came out, the musicians, and talked to the students. They let the students see their instruments, they answered questions about their instruments, and they really made that personal connection that made seeing them play live jazz even more exciting. My students could not believe that these were only high school musicians. The musicians played with such passion. They were so talented that everybody that attended the concert from my school, the chaperones, the students, the teachers, it was such a memorable experience, and thank you, CYSO.
Though our school year was cut unexpectedly short, I'm proud of the work we accomplished in the 2019-2020 season. I hope that seeing other young people playing at such a high level will inspire the students for whom we played to pick up an instrument and join us one day.